Good morning, business finance students, ABM students. Good morning. How are you today? So welcome to the last quarter of the school year 2021-2022. So in business finance, we are going to tackle or discuss about the module 3 planning tools and concepts. So the planning tools and concepts, we have the first part here, which is what is planning. So as you can see, this is your module. I did not prepare a PowerPoint. Why? Because it's so hard for me to prepare a PowerPoint when it comes to computation, because this topic for this morning, we are going to tackle about computing projected budgets. Okay, so as you can see, it's here. What is financial planning process? The steps in financial planning. So you already know what are the 6 steps in financial planning. So again, let's have our recap first. First, we have to set goals or objectives. So for a business, long-term and short-term identify objectives. So as a business, what are your objectives? So this has shown in company's vision and mission statements. So every businesses, there should be a mission, vision statements to keep you going so that you are going to foresee, you have the goal. You have the goal after 10 years, I will be having this kind of business. My business grows and my business will be having branches. So that is your goal, your objective. So that will be the first step in financial planning. Second, there's an example. Example of the company's vision mission statements are as follows from Jollibee Foods Corporation. Their vision is to excel in providing great tasting food that meets local preferences better than anyone. So to become one of the 3 largest and most profitable restaurant companies in the world by 2020. So the vision of the Jollibee Foods Corporation is they envision that they will excel in providing great tasting food that meets local preferences better than anyone. And as of today, how are you going to rate the products and services of the Jollibee? Do they meet the vision that they set? Yes. To become one of the 3 largest and most profitable restaurant companies in the world by 2020, what happened now? They are not just, I don't I don't think if Jollibee Foods Corporation is the 3rd largest, but indeed the corporation is one of the most profitable restaurant companies in the world, right? And also their mission is to serve great tasting food, bringing the joy of eating to everyone, which is bida ang saya. So every vision and mission statements that will describe what the company is, right? Second is we have to identify the resources. Third, identify goal-related tasks. Fourth is we are going to establish responsibility center for accountability and timeline. Six is we establish an evaluation system for monitoring and controlling. Six is determine contingency plan. So when we say contingency plan, these are unforeseen events that must be considered as well. So you have projected that let's just say, for example, you are planning to go to Camiguin by boat. No, gikan diri sa Matangad going to Camiguin by boat. And you foresee that your travel will be smooth and sound. Um walay mga something things that you did not think that will happen. But when we say contingency plan, you are going to consider as well the unforeseen events. Let's just say, for example, this day init kaayo and yes, mo-travel na you go, but then suddenly ni dagko ni ulan dagko na kay mga balod. So that is an unforeseen seen. So we must have the last step in financial planning is you are going to determine contingency plans. Now, so that is our recap for the first part of our discussion. So for this morning, we are going to discuss about the preparation of budgets and projected financial statement. So when we say preparation of budget, what is budget, by the way? So as you can see here, as you can see, budget is a description in quantitative, usually monetary terms of desired future result. Okay? So when we say budget, it is a description in quantitative, usually monetary terms of desired future result. So the process of preparing the budget requires management at all levels to focus on the future of the business entity. So when we say budget, it says that it is a quantitative. Of course, you are talking about money that you desire for future result. Let's just say, for example, I am going to buy a new phone. How much is your budget? You don't you you don't budget things that you already bought, but you budget money for your desired future result. Okay, and it says that the process of preparing the budget requires management at all level to focus on the future of the business entity. So example of budget. First, we have sales budget. So if you can open your module, your printed module, it you can read it there, the sales budget. So sales budget class, it is a prediction of the firm's sales over a specific period based on external and internal information. So let's just say, for example, the Jollibee Food Corporation. So what is the sales budget of Jollibee for the month of March? So there is a forecasted sales budget. So it is a projection of the firm's sales over a specific period. So the sales budget class has constructed by multiplying budgeted unit sales by the selling price. Okay, so sales budget, how are we going to compute for the sales budget? There should be, you are going to multiply budgeted units by the selling price. So let's just say the budget unit is 10 iPhones. That is a budget unit for just 1 week. 10 iPhones. So you are going to sell 10 iPhones. That is your target. That in 1 week, you will be able to dispose 10 iPhones. So we have 10, the given is 10, and the selling price is, let's just say, for example, 15,000. So 10 times 15,000. So that will be your sales budget. Okay. So let's proceed to the illustration. So we have here the illustration of sales budget. So we have sales budget of ABC Company for the year ended December 31, 2020, 2019. So series number 1 and 2, we have particulars, we have quarter 1, and we have quarter 2. So ABC Company sales budget, they forecasted that the sales per unit is in quarter 1 will be 6,000 and in quarter 2 will be 5,000. So in series number 2, we have the price per unit or X price per unit. So the price is 100 in quarter one and expected that the price will go higher in quarter two. So we have 150. The sales revenue, we have 600,000 for quarter one and we have 750,000 for quarter two. So where did we get the 600,000 and the 750,000? Just simply, again, in our sales budget, it says that we have to multiply the budgeted unit sales by the selling price. So here in our illustration, we have the forecasted unit sale of 6,000 in quarter one. And we also have a forecasted unit sale in quarter two of 5,000. And we have the selling price per unit of 100 in quarter one. So we just simply multiply 6,000 times 100. We have 600,000. Okay, so this is where we get the sales revenue. And this will be our sales budget, the forecasted sales budget. How about the quarter two? We have forecasted sales unit of 5,000 and we have the price per unit accordingly 150 pesos. So we just simply multiply 5,000 sales unit multiplied by the selling price of 150 per unit. So we come up with a sales revenue of 750,000 pesos. Okay, so we are done with sales budget. Now, another budget is the production budget. Of course, the production budget class, it should really relate to the budget, the sales budget. So the estimated sales quantity based on the management judgment that, we are going to forecast the sales budget. So how are you going to come up with that sales budget if your production budget does not really produce the production of the sales budget? So as you can read here in production budget, it is a financial planning related to the units of production that the management think that the business should produce. So when the management think that the business should produce this kind of quantity, then where did you get your sales budget? From your production budget. Okay, so for the business should think, how much are we going to produce in this upcoming period to match the estimated sales quantity? So based on the management judgment related to the competition in the market. So you are not just, let's just say, for example, the 8 of you, let's just say, si Sean, he became the owner of the world's largest corporation. And then he wanted to have a production budget. And management judgment should relate to the competition in the market. Let's just say, for example, let's just take advantage of the conflict, the Russia and Ukraine conflict. So what is the effect of that conflict? We have a higher price of oil. So gasoline really have higher prices nowadays. So let's just say, for example, you projected that you are going to produce 100 motorcycles and you are going to dispose it in 1 month during this period. So as the management, you should relate to the competition in the market. So who do you think would buy motorcycle when they know that the maintenance of the vehicle, the gasoline of the vehicle is at a very high price? So do you think many people will buy your motorcycle? Of course not. So you are going, as a management, you are going to judge your projected production budget based on the related competition in the market. You are also going to see if the economic conditions is related to, if the economic condition, you are going to project a production budget that is favorable to the customers. Production capacity, you are going, let's just say, for example, you are going to forecast a production budget of 1,000 bread a day, and then your manpower is just 2 persons. So how are they going to produce 1,000 bread per day? So you are going to see that one, that is not just for forecasting budget. It is not just, ay, gusto ko mag-budget ani kada ko. You are going to see the market, the economic condition, the production capacity, the consumer prevailing market's demands, and past trends. Why? Because that is for the sake of your business. That is how you are going to dispose your products. It doesn't matter if your production budget is higher or lower, if your sales, your forecasted sales will not be, your forecasted sales will not be implemented. So as the illustration in production budget, we have here the production budget of XYZ company for the year ended December 31, 2019. Series number 1, we have particulars. We also have quarter 1 and quarter 2. So in sales unit forecasted, as you can see here, we have 8,000. So meaning that is your forecasted sales budget. So as you can see here in our sales budget, we have sales forecasted unit is 6,000 and 5,000 in quarter 2 respectively. So in production budget, we have sales unit. For example, in quarter 1, we have 8,000, meaning this is the forecasted sales. Meaning if you have month of March, you forecasted that you are going to sell 8,000 pieces of your product in quarter 1. And in quarter 2, you are going to sell 9,000 units. So you are going to add in production budget, we are going to add finished goods inventory. When we say finished goods inventory, these are the products that are already available for sale. So these are, in our illustration, we have 2,000 in quarter 1, and in quarter 2, we have 3,000. So how much is our total productions? We have 10,000 and 11,000 in quarter 2. We are going to less beginning inventory of finished goods. So when we say beginning inventory of finished goods, these are the items that available for sale, but in let's just say for example, batch 1 and batch 2. So in our illustration, we added finished goods inventory. So kining finished goods inventory class, naghimo na mo sa inyong product and nahumana na siya in quarter 2 mo na siya ang bag-o nga gihimo. So kung pila ka buok mo na siya ang idugang, mo na siyang i-add. So we come up with a total production less beginning inventory of finished goods. So when we say beginning of inventory finished goods, unlike sa second batch nga imong gihimo, bag-o nimo ni siya nga gihimo, mo nang imong gi-add sa imong sales unit. But when we say beginning inventory of finished goods, these products already been made pero wala siya nahurot pagbaligya. That's why we have beginning inventory. Parehara na siya sa nawaligya kag napulo ka ice candy for this day. Wala na halin ang tulo. So nakay bilin nga tulo ka ice candy. Naghimo na pug kag 10 ka ice candy karon para imong ibaligya for this day. So let's just say Monday naghimo kag 10, 7 ra ang nahalin, na kay tulo nga nabilin nga ice candy nga wala na halin. So kaning tulo didto nimo ni siya ibutang sa beginning inventory of finished goods. Pagka Tuesday, naghimo na pug kag 10 ka ice candy para imong ibaligya karon na day, Tuesday. So pila naman ka ice candy ang imong nabuhat tanan? You have 13 all in all, including the 3 ice candy that was not sold yesterday. So this is what happened in our illustration. Your sales unit forecasted is 8,000. Let's just say 10 ka ice candy, nagdugang ka for Tuesday of finished goods inventory of 10, so you already have 20 ice candy. Napa man kay tulog ice candy nga nabilin, so you are going to less that one. Okay, so units to be produced is 7,500. Why? Nga sure nga nung gilas man si beginning inventory nga part man siya sa ibaligya. Remember class that we are making the production budget. We are not making the sales budget. So when we say production budget, nganong dili man nimo iles sa beginning inventory nga na naman na siya, dili naman na siya himuon. That's why we are lessing beginning inventory of finished goods. So in the illustration, as you can see, we have forecasted sale unit in Q1 of 8,000. We added finished goods inventory of 2,000. Total productions is 10,000. We less beginning inventory of finished goods of 2,500. So in Q1, we are going to produce units of 7,500. The same as in Q2, we have 9,000. Okay, so I hope that sales budget and production budget is clear. Now let's proceed to cash budget. So when we say cash budget, it is statement of the firm that has planned inflows and outflows of cash. So if you think that putting up a business is just simple as buying and selling, no, especially if you are going to engage with budgeting. So in cash budget class, again, it is a statement of the firm that has planned inflows and outflows of cash. So it forecasts the timing of these cash outflows and matches them with cash inflows from sales and other receipts. So the cash budget is also a control tool to monitor the way the company handles cash. Okay? So the third budget we are talking about is the cash budget. So it is a statement of the firm, and it also serves as a control tool to monitor the way the company handles cash. So if we are going to see the illustration, example, we have an example here. Assume the selling price is 100 per unit sales for each month that has expected to be collected as follows. So month of sales, 20%. A month after sales is 50%. 2 months after sales is 30%. So what does this mean? So how much is the total receipts from sales? So we have here January. We have 5 months, January to May, and we have units. So as you can see here, we have the price, assuming our selling price is 100 per unit. So for each month, that is expected to be collected as follows. So it says here that expected to be collected. So in a month of sales, you are going to collect 20%. After month, 50%. 2 months after sales, 30%. So na-collect na siya tanan. Assuming, why is it nga ingani siya? Because we are assuming that ang uban is through credit and not through cash. So as you can see here in our table, units, we have 2,000 in January, 2,200 in February, March 2,500, April 2,800, and in May, we have 3,000. So a total of 12,500 units. So sales in pesos, take note, sales in pesos. So we have, where did we get this 200,000, 220, 250, 280, and 300,000 na sales in pesos. We just simply multiplied the units times selling price, and we assume that our selling price is 100 per unit sales. So we have the collection from monthly sales in pesos times 20%. Why is it that it is 20%? It is given in our example that each month that is expected to be collected is as follows. So every month from this 200,000, 220,000, 250, 280, 300,000, we assume that we are going to collect cash in here 20%. So how much is the 20% of 200,000? We have 40,000. So this is why we get this collection from monthly sales. So what is the formula of this one? You just simply multiply the sales in pesos times the month of sales percentage, which is in our example, we have 20%. So the same process in the month of February, March, April, and May. So the total, we have units 12,500. Sales in pesos, we have 1,250,000. And the total collection from January to May, which is 20%, we have 250,000. Now we have collection from previous monthly sales. So how much is the percentage of a month after sales? We have 50%. So how do we get this one? Question. Sure, why is it that there is no collection from previous monthly sales in the month of January? Take note, class, that we started selling on the month of January. So there will be no previous month of selling those units. So that's why, as you can see in our table, it's blank. There is no input in here because it is not applicable in the month of January. So let's proceed to the month of February. Simply multiply 220,000 times 50%, which is wait lang. How much is the 50% of 220,000? Okay, so as you can see, it is not right. Sayop na siya. The total amount here, the 50% of 220,000, we have 110,000. So this is supposedly 110,000, 125,000, 140,000, and we have 150,000. Okay, so we are just going to total this one. This is not the exact amount. Sayop ang module. Sorry for that. Okay, next we have collection from the 2 months prior sales. So how are we going to compute with this one? In our example, we have here 2 months after sales, we have 30%. So we just simply multiply sales in pesos. We have 250, 280, and 300 times 30%. So question, sure, nga wala man si February input dara. Blanco man lagi gyapon. Why? Because take note, 2 months after sales. So you started January, that is the first month. February is the second month. So if you're going to start with February, you are just going to compute 1 month lang siya. So we started on the month of March. So March, we have 250 times 30%. How much is the 200? How much is the 30% of 250? We have 75,000. This is not right. Okay, just wait lang, ha? There is really something wrong. Hmm. Okay. My bad. Okay, so this is right. We have collection from monthly sales. This is correct. Collection from previous monthly sales. So in February, they collected how much is the 50%? How much is they collected in the month of February from January? So that's why we have 100, 110, 125, 140. Okay. How about the collection from 2 months prior sales in March? They collected 30% from January. We have 60,000, 66. So the same process, and the total collections from sales, we have 40,000 from January, February 144, March 220, April 247, May 275, and the total we have 926,000. Okay, so that is a cash budget. You're just simply going to compute the collection of sales. Next, I hope that we are already clear with the sales budget, production budget, and cash budget. So we are more way to go with this one. Okay, next we have projected financial statement. So in your first semester, you already know how to read financial statements. Am I right? So projected financial statement, it is a tool of a company to set an overall goal, what the company's performance and position will be for and as of the end of the year. So it sets targets, control, and monitor the activities of your company. So in your fundamentals of accounting and business management 1, you already learned how to create financial statements based on the transactions that are present in the business. But here, we are going to project forecast financial statements. So we have two projected income statement and projected statement of financial position. So the application of the projected financial approach class should be two steps. First is you are going to forecast this income statement, and second, you are going to forecast the statement of financial position. So in forecasting this income statement class, first is you are going to establish sales projection. So how are we going to get the sales projection? We already tackled up with the sales budget. Second is project the cost of sales. Third is you are going to prepare the production schedule and project the corresponding production cost, direct materials, direct labor, and overhead for companies. Fourth is you are going to estimate selling and administrative expenses. So when we say administrative expenses, these are expenses that are not related to production. Just say, for example, you're creating cake. You're making cake, and then administrative is just part of the secretary, the supervisor, and anything that is not involved in production. So that is administrative expenses. Second to the last is you consider financial expenses, if any. And lastly, you are going to determine the net profit. So if you follow those steps, then you already forecasted an income statement. But if you forecast an income statement, this 6 here that is under the forecast, the income statement it should be present in the income statement. Second is you are going to forecast the statement of financial position. So how are you going to forecast that one? First, you are going to project the assets needed to support projected sales. Second, you are going to project funds generated through accounts payable and accruals and by retained earnings. So when we say retained earnings, it is a capital. Third is project liability and stockholder equity accounts that will not rise spontaneously with sales. Let's just say, for example, notes payable, long-term bonds, preferred stock, and ordinary shares, but may change due to the financing decisions made later. And lastly, you are going to determine if additional funds needed by using the following formula. So in determining additional funds needed, you are going to use this formula. Required increase in assets minus a spontaneous increase in liabilities minus increase in retained earnings. So the additional financing needed raised by borrowing from the banks as notes payable, by issuing long-term bonds, by selling new ordinary shares, or some combination of these actions. So additional financing needed raised is you are going to borrow in the bank. You are going to issue long-term bonds. When we say bonds, it might be a liability or an investment. Okay. And when we are talking about shareholders or stockholders, this is how you are going to sell new ordinary sales or by some combination of these actions. Lastly, we have third step is raising the additional funds needed. So in raising the additional funds needed, the financing decision will consider the following factors. First is you are going to target capital structure. Second is affect a short-term borrowing on its current ratio. Third is the condition in the debt and equity markets. And fourth, restrictions imposed by existing debt agreements. Last step is you are to consider financing feedback. So it depends on whether additional funds borrowed or has raised through ordinary shares considerations has given on additional interest in the income statement or dividends, thus increasing or decreasing rather the retained earnings. Okay. So illustrative case, we have financial forecasting percent of sales method. So we have here the Millennial Company has the following statement representative of the company's historical average. So as you can see here, heading is very important. Millennial Company income statement for the year ended December 31, 2019. So this is the forecasted nila nga income statement. Okay, as you can see, we have sales, cost of sales. We have statement of financial position. Heading is very important too. Assets, we have here 54.2 million. Liability and stockholders equity. So this is the income statement of the Millennial Company and the financial position. So as you can see here, the firm is expecting 20% increase in sales next year. So the management is concerned about the company's need for external funds. So the increase in sales expected to carry out without any expansion of fixed assets, but rather through more efficient asset utilization in the existing store. So among liabilities, only current liabilities vary directly with sales. So using the percent of sales method class, you are going to determine whether the company has external financing needs or a surplus of funds. So in solution, in step 1, we already talked about the solution. Step 1, forecast the income statement. So as you can see, you just copy this one. 2,411,40 we have here, diba? 2 million ang sales. So why is it that 2,400,000? Why? Because the sales 2 million times 120%. Sure, why is it that it is 120%? It says here that the firm is expecting a 20% increase. So meaning, ang imong sales, ang sales ni Millennial from 2019 will be, mo increase pa siya for 20%. That's why we have 120% of the result is 2,400,000. The cost of sales, we have 2.4. Since our sales is 2.4, then our cost of sales is 2.4 million of 1,440,000. Sure, why is it that, okay, why is it sure that it is 60%? Asa man ni nakuha? See, 60%. 60% is the cost of sales. So when we have here, in the Millennial company, we have sales of 2 million. Then we have a cost of sales of 1 million. Okay, so we have, if you are going to divide this one, this will end up to 166. So if you are just going to, it's 60%, okay? So the gross profit, you just simply less that one. Operating expenses is times 19%. Where did we get the 19%? It's given, I think. Okay. Earnings before interest and taxes, interest expense. Taxes is 35%. It's already given 35%. We have here 35%. Earnings after taxes, dividends of 60% payment. So we come up of 101,600. So as you can see here, the dividends is 136,500. So we have 36%. Forecast the statement of financial position. So the projected statement of financial position will show the following. Cash, accounts receivable, inventory. These are current assets. Fixed asset is a non-current asset. So gi-add na sila tanan. 60 for 80,900. Fixed asset 4 is 800. Liability, okay. So these are the computation. Cash is equal to 2.5% times 2.4 million sales. So then we also have accounts receivable of 20%, inventory 37.5%. So percentage is given class. Formula method, additional financing needed may also be computed as follows.
we have here, just follow this formula. Okay. Okay, so I guess we have to discuss this one next time. On the second, we have to discuss this one in the next meeting. We don't have enough time anymore. Okay, so I think that's it. We're done for today. We are going to continue our lesson next meeting. So thank you, and I hope you are watching this video. God bless everyone.